Alright, another exciting moment where we'll be presenting our housemate being Rethink Tourism. Earlier today, I was here telling you how the groups will be able to showcase what they know, what they feel about tourism in terms of the word tourism, the celebration, and the showcase in terms of presentation as well. So we gave them 25 minutes for each of the groups. And we have the groups with five persons each. So at this particular episode, we're going to watch them present what they have, of which you, our esteemed viewers, will be able to follow each of your favorite housemates bumper to fender, as well to know exactly where and how they mean what they say. So tonight, the housemates are going to have the best of time in terms of expression, carrying us along various tourist sites, at least 10 of which I told you earlier, and also tell us the need to impact into tourism to harness and see how we can bring up the economy and work towards this. Job opportunities, educational aspects of tourism, and how we can be part of these. We had already segmented the housemate into two groups, Group A and Group B, and each of the group have 5 different housemates coming together to make a group. So Group A and B today will use just 25 minutes to showcase what they understand by tourism, the word, based on the celebration today, what they feel should be done, and the way forward for tourism in terms of what we have here in Nigeria. As leaders, they have to express themselves, and this is how they will be judged. The use of time, the words in terms of command, the vocals, and the ability to work in unity as a group, even while they're trying to showcase themselves as individuals. Let's watch out.
We, the housemates of the President's Reality TV show, we are here to join the world and celebrate World Tourism Day. On this note, we are given a task in groups, and we are here to present our task. And we're going to take it in 5 different segments. It's going to be interesting, concise, and I believe you sit and you watch us. Thank you. We are going to start first with to spread the word on today's theme, Rethink Tourism. After that, we are going to share a little stories that we have about tourism, and immediately we are going to invite you, educate you more on the tourist sites that we have in our country. Then we are going to talk about the impact, and as the president of this country, we are also going to let you know what we are going to have as the end solutions to our tourism in the country. Thank you. Now we are moving straight to spreading the word tourism. Rethink tourism. Thank you.
Thank you very much, team leader. Tourism is predicted to create 126 million jobs in the next decade, visibly a stretch of 10 years. Within these 10 years, 1 to 3 Nigerians will have jobs. And not just jobs, they will have quality jobs because of the revenues that will be generated from the tourism industry. Through tourism, lots of lives and humans will gain employment. We'll leverage partnerships and cooperations with the private sector to ensure that everyone is carried along inclusively. Like Martin Parr said, the thing about tourism is that the reality of a place is quite different from the mythology of it. World Tourism Day is celebrated as the shift towards tourism is being recognized as a pillar for growth. World Tourism Day has been celebrated since September 27, 1980. But in May 2022 marked the first time that the United Nations General Assembly held a special debate on tourism, illustrating the historic relevance of the sector. Tourism is now on the agenda of government and international organizations in every global space. The theme, Rethinking Tourism, stimulates ideas for development and sustainability through education and job creation. Tourism plays a vital role in representing one's culture at the global level. By promoting our culture, we promote our country on the international scene. We will earn foreign revenue which will expand our economy by 5%. It plays a vital role in the development of not just agriculture but every other sector in Nigeria, as these revenues will be collected. It is important to know that traveling, it leaves you speechless and it turns you to a storyteller, because to every place you travel to, you have a story to tell, and that's the beauty of tourism. Thank you.
On this, we are going to join the celebration of World Tourism Day. As we all know, it's Tourism Day. And to join the celebration, we, the members of the President Reality TV show, in oneness and in unity, we are here to say, Happy World Tourism Day. Thank you. A quick one. We are going to share our stories. That's the little experiences we have about tourism in our country, or maybe anywhere we've been through, to tourist sites and center of attraction and all that. I'll run my own very fast. Some few years ago, I visited the Abokum waterfall. It's a tourist site, a very beautiful place to behold in Cross River State. And the few experiences I had there, at first, they told us, and I witnessed it too, that we have about 200 steps to ascend and descend. And we want to go in, they gave us a coin as a symbol for entrance, and the instruction was we have to definitely come out with the coin. And our team leader did not want to hear stories, so she collected all the coins, put it inside our pocket so that we'll be safe. And they told us, as we are going in, the natural instruction is that you don't stand straight. You have to hold on to the rock so that you can balance up and all that. It was all a beautiful experience. We went in there, the waterfall in 7 different ways. From there, we have a site, we view so many places, big trees, the Cameroon Mountain, they show us places all around there. And it was a very interesting moment. And I want to also invite you. Yes, you can have a beautiful moment. It's a Cross River State in Nigeria. Don't worry. We are going to take you to more tourist sites in Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. My own experience was at the Zuma Rock, Niger State. Well, I've heard a lot about it, but I would like to say a little about it before I can tell you my own experience. Zuma Rock is a large natural monolith in Niger State, Nigeria. It is located immediately west of Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Along the main road from Abuja to Kaduna off Madala, and it sometimes refers to as the gateway to Abuja from Suleja, and it's 980 feet above its surroundings. Zuma Rock is very tall by the standards of Nigerian geography. Now, Zuma Rock is founded by the Bagis. They are the indigenous citizens of Abuja. It is known to be a very, that rock is known to be a very spiritual place. If you go there, you will see on it there is a face that is being encrypted there, and it's known to be like an eye. The reason why though then they used to worship that place as their god, and the reason was that they believed that it was protecting them from their enemies, and so that eye was actually helping them to know, as in to be careful of what is happening around them. And then also I also saw that there was water under it, though we didn't go near there because the place is a haunted place, and it was really a nice experience. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Just like she has said, and she has said already, we have so many tourist centers in Nigeria, and the one I visited was the Oron Museum. On the visit, we weren't actually planning to visit the Oron Museum. We went for an humanitarian trip to a primary school in Oron. But when we were done, due to the love we had with the children, We just moved together to the museum, and when we went inside, I saw many sculptures and many things. The first thing they did was to keep our phones. We're not allowed to go inside with our phones because they said we'll basically be snapping selfies with all the sculptures there. We learned a lot because I saw just more than sculptures, especially when they explained to us the historical origin of these things and how they affected society. So I can assure you that any place you visit, please do not just go there for fun. Also have in mind that you will learn.
Thank you. Please, a brief one.
Thank you so very much. I visited the Amakama wooden cave in Amakama community in Abia State. And this cave is known for its spiritual impact in the community. The cave, although it's being called the wooden tree, it has a hollow under it. The tree is very big and has a hollow under it, which can contain 20 people. 20 people can sit under the tree. And one significant thing about this tree is by the side it's full with bees. And these bees stings if you come with an evil intent to go under the tree, or you want to hurt someone, or you're coming with a charm.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much. I think the tourist attractions we have in Nigeria are close to 101. And then I visited the one in Kuje. Almat is an artificial, is a private tourist center. Basically what they do there is farm. They do livestock, irrigation farming, where they produce crops and animals. So people go there, to children. I think you pay a fee before going into it. It's a very beautiful place, greenish. You pay 2,500 for children and 5,000 for adults. They go in there. They do marriages and receptions and different things. So that's one I
Beautiful. Thank you. And a quick one. We are going to take you to the tourist site that we have in Nigeria. But I am going to narrow it down to my state, Akwa Ibom State. This is to also tell you how beautiful my state is when it comes to tourism. At first, let's talk about the Odu Blue River. It's located in Okanafa local government area in Akwa Ibom State. Blue River, you're just hearing it for the first time. Yes, we have it here in Akwa Ibom State. And the water crosses the Azumini Blue River and River State down to Akwa Ibom State. It is believed that it is one of the clear blue river that we have in the world, although there is nothing else to alter it for now. Now, let's go straight to Ibona Beach. It is the largest sandy beach in West Africa. Hello, the largest sandy beach in West Africa. And we have the economic benefit. The beach sand alone, it's a benefit. And the sand is used, it's a clay sand. It is used to make all the glasses you have in your house, the aluminum windows, the aluminum doors. That is what it's used for. And the health benefit is a natural exfoliant. Yes, you did not know that. That's beautiful. We have that in a beautiful state, Akwa Ibom, and it is situated in Nigeria. Okay, let me also tell you that you cannot talk about the history of Nigeria without making reference to 1914 amalgamation, and without talking about Lord Lugard, and without talking about the House of Lord Lugard. It is located in Ikotabasi local government area of Akwa Ibom State. It is a beautiful sight to behold, and I want you to come and have an eyes of that. Now, let's move straight to the slave bridge of no return. It's also located in Ikotabasi in Akwa Ibom State still. That is where our forefathers were taken out of our land. That when they just get to that bridge and they are moved into the boats to sell them to Europe, you can never see them again. That was why they tagged the place the slave bridge of no return. Now let's talk about the quality ceramics. Yes, quality. All the ceramics you've been using in your house, your offices, everywhere, it's produced in Akwa Ibom State. It is located in a place called Clay City. Naturally, the two villages, Ikotekweritam and the other village, sorry, that's escaped my memory, they have a natural clay. That one is non-debatable. It is there, and that's why they extract it, they use it in the production of all the ceramics that we have here. Now, Let's come back to the city a little. Let's talk about our world-class Gospel of Bado International Stadium. It is located in our heart of town. When I mean world-class, I'm very emphatic world-class. You need to come see it for yourself. Let's talk about our e-library. It's still in our heart of town. Our Ibom Plaza connection. It's still in our heart of town. The Ibibio Museum is still in our Akwa Ibom State. The National Museum is still in our Akwa Ibom State. The Itu Hill. Now, let me draw you strictly to history, where Mary Slessor lived and died. It's in Akwa Ibom State. Ibionibom local government, to be precise. We have it so much in Nigeria. We have it so. I'm just narrowing this down to Akwa Ibom State, so you will know. And we still have more tourist sites in Nigeria. I want you to come, explore our country. We are sociable, we are hospitable. We are going to host you well. You don't have a problem to come and experience our tourist sites in Nigeria. Thank you. A quick one. We are going to move straight to the impact of tourism in Nigeria. And we're going to talk about the economic impacts, the educational impact, the job creation aspect of it. And we're going to take it a very quick one because of time around our roommate. So we are going to allow the first person to pick the economic impact of tourism in Nigeria. Thank you. Okay, let's hear you.
While the world is rethinking tourism, I think for me in Nigeria we should be thinking tourism. Because since 1960, our major economic source has always been the oil, and no holistic approach to making tourism another sector which will provide money for the country, except during 2000 and 2005. Since then, we haven't seen any result of tourism. But let me shock our viewers. A country with a land mass of just 83,600 square kilometers generated in 2019 from tourism, just tourism alone, a whopping sum of 180.4 billion United Arab Emirates dirham, which if you should convert it to dollars, it will be 4,900,000,062,000,000 US dollars. But we are seated on a land mass of 923,000 square kilometers. From this, we see that the economic impact and benefits of tourism cannot be underestimated. In the same 2019, Nigeria's GDP from tourism was just $11 billion. With the oil dwindling and the economy going down, falling into recession, inflation every day, tourism is another sector that the government should look into. And we as candidates here will look into the tourism sector because, one, it will provide job creation. Tourism is the only sector that can provide labor to the people. Tourism will also help in reviving the economy of Nigeria and increasing the foreign exchange in Nigeria. Tourism, as we all know, impacts all sectors. If we go to the health, it's the health sector, the environment, the aviation, the transport. It encompasses all sectors. That is why the economic benefits of tourism cannot be underestimated. Tourism places the country on a global map. Tourism is the only thing that will make people get attracted to a country. And another benefit of tourism in a country is that it provides direct and indirect employment. The value chain of the economy cannot be underestimated because the people would travel by land or by air, they would live in a hotel, and it will also provide opportunity for investment. The locals will be affected, the local economy will be of value.
Thank you so much, housemates. Because of time, it's very interesting and we are following you. And I believe the viewers are enjoying. I apologize to the viewers for cutting you because of time. So we are quickly going to talk about the social benefits, social cultural benefits. This is going to be a very brief one so that we can wrap up.
Okay,
because
like
of time.
social cultural benefits has to do with human lifestyles, cultures, and arts. I was discussing with my fellow housemate here, and we discussed about the Kajuri resort in Kaduna State. It's all surrounded with hills, and then we said when these white people, like investors, like the Lebanese, come to tour around the place, what they do, the first thing we do is we teach them our lifestyles. They buy our clothes, they put on our clothes, they promote our arts, they go sculptures and our food, they eat our food. So I think, and then in buying all those things, it increases our revenue. The revenue of our country increases because now there will be a foreign exchange. They come, they exchange their dollars to our naira. So there will be an increase in our foreign exchange. So, and then I think that was what we...
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
that was
beautiful. Thank you so much. And we are moving straight to the educational aspect of tourism. Please, are going to be very brief for us. Out of time.
Thank you. Visiting new sites, tourism sites really helped a lot educationally. It helped us to have knowledge of things around us and also outside, and it also widens our global perspective of life, and it helps us to learn culture, to learn customs and more. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And however, we have some challenges. Yes, let's narrow the challenges down to our country. One of the challenges I think we have in the tourism sector is that our government is doing less in investing in tourism. That's our outstanding. Because, okay, I'm not going to dwell much on that, but our government is doing less on our tourism. And we also have insecurity problem. The rate of tourist attraction we have in 2016 and 2015 and 2016, it's during 2017, it's continually deviates. I mean, it went down completely. We did not have anything to hold on to again. Until 2019, it started coming up a little. And even 2020 and 2021, we did not have it the way we used to have it. Because of what? Insecurity problems. And these insecurity problems is flying up and down. Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. That is one also another challenge we are having in the sector. Then another one is that our citizens, we are not supporting, we are not promoting, we are not adopting what we have. Nigerians would choose to leave our tourist site in our country to go and visit in someone else's country. I mean, it is one of the challenges that we have in our tourism sector. And with this, there are solutions to this through some policies we intend to promote as president of this country. A quick one to round up. We have a housemate to conclude that for us, I believe.
Okay, thank you. The problems are numerous, as well the solutions are also numerous. So as president of Nigeria, we'll leverage on the policies that have already been created by federal government, but we'll take it a bit further. We'll leverage the private sector, their businesses, systems and structures to ensure that we do not just have government funding tourist centers and sites, but we also have them being managed by private sector, so that people do not take for granted the effort and the funds that the government are being pushed into the tourist centers. We'll build a website that has a comprehensive documentation of all the tourist centers in Nigeria, so that as people from different countries of the world visit this website, the country is generating revenues from this website. We'll also do major campaigns around these tourist centers and have national events at these tourist centers. We'll also have an intentional building of good roads and infrastructures around these tourist centers. We have more, but let's leave it there. That we know that when we become as a team, we'll do it together and make Nigeria better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much. On this note, we call it a day. Thank you so much. Thank you for thank you viewers for viewing us. Thank you for this opportunity, the President Reality TV show. When you think tourism, think Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you.
gentlemen, making Group B, still to talk about tourism on their own perspective and understanding. Don't forget, it's still the President's Reality TV Show Season 1. And here today we're talking about tourism. Let's have Group B do their presentation. Watch out.
President's Reality TV Show.
Globally, 27th of September is set aside to celebrate tourism. Tourism is an industry that is relevant to every economy across the world if it's well packaged and presented in the most appropriate way. Today is World Tourism Day, and the focus is on
Rethink Tourism.
We are Group B housemates in the ongoing President Reality TV show. The International Day observance for this year World Tourism Day focus on Rethink Tourism. Reimagine the sector's growth based on the size and relevance. The goal is to revamp the system and change the conceptions on how people think about tourism. The purpose is fostering tourism awareness, social, political, economic value, and its contribution to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We are taking a critical look into the journey on how tourism brings impact to the world, the challenges, the solutions, how it brings revenue to a country GDP, and how this can make a country better. We will stress the point to provide you key points on tourism areas you can visit in Nigeria and how beautiful and how wonderful it is. According to the United Nations General Secretary, Mr. Zurab, he said, and I quote, "The potential of tourism is enormous, and we have a shared responsibility to make sure it's fully realized." A critical look into this and the importance of tourism to Nigerians, African, and the world at large, Maldives posts a 38% of the GDP of what tourism contributes to their economy. The British Virgin Islands post over 32% to the economy of the country. Considering the economic importance and the development it brings at all levels, can we say that tourism has been fully utilized in our country?
No.
Can we say that its full potential has been achieved? No. Daniel will be taking us through a journey on the impact of tourism.
Thank you very much, my leader. My name is Daniel, and I'll be talking about the impact of tourism in the country and the world at large. Now, before I go into the impact of tourism, I need to look at two places, two tourist attractions in a place I call my home in Ebonyi State. Now, one of them is the Amancho Cave. The Amancho Cave, according to history, was discovered by a man named Ofia Ugo. He was a hunter, and when he discovered this place, he had to call the place the Oba Amancho. And since then, it's been a major attraction for the people of Afipu South, who are inhabitants of this place called Amancho Cave. Now, three of the uniqueness of this place is that the Amancho Cave has a three passageways, which the second passageway is the main entrance of the passage into this cave. Now, the cave entrance has a step-like entrance where people can climb, a natural step-like entrance where people can climb and get into the cave. And it was recently added wooden ladders which would help people get into the cave. Now, the third entrance of this cave is called the door. Now, the door is also called the Ori, which is one of the four market days in the Igbo market calendar. The Ori, Nkwo, Ike, and Afo. And the Ori is significant because on the last Ori day of every year in December, it is celebrated as the Oba Ori, which people come together in the communities to celebrate the
Mancho Cave. Now, the second place I need us to look at is the Okposi Salt Lake. Now, if you ever wondered where the name the Salt of the Nation came into existence for Ebonyi State, now this is a story. I'll take you down history lane. 400 years ago, two hunters, Uta and Cheetah, discovered in Ebonyi State, Okposi to be precise, in Ohosra local government area, that this lake was not a drinkable lake. It doesn't have drinkable water. It was salt water. And since then till today, okay, now the second tourist attraction in Ebonyi State, in Ohosra local government to be precise, is the Okposi Salt Lake. Now, 400 years ago, the Okposi Lake was discovered as an undrinkable water. Now, undrinkable in the sense that it was a salt water and people could not drink from this water. Now, the two hunters who discovered this lake, Cheetah and Uta, tried to drink this water and discovered it was a salt lake. And up till today, this lake still signifies as one of the major tourist attractions in the state. Now, Ebonyi State has two salt lakes, the Uburu Lake and the Okposi Lake. Now, the Uburu Lake is bigger, the Uburu Salt Lake is bigger than the Okposi Lake, but the Okposi Lake, the salt lake, is more popular because of the Odenibo Okposi market, which attracts people from the eastern and the northern region of the country to come patronize commodities, most especially the salt, in this community. Now, one of the major significance of this place is that during those time, it was the brimes of the water, the brimes to make salt, were processed and produced by women. Now, if you ever thought of the notion that women cannot do what men can do, then you need to go to Okposi and do a research on the Okposi women who discovered, who processed this salt and made sure these brimes were turned into salt using solar energy. Now, 400 years ago, industrialized salt production was not in existence, but they produced salt using solar energy. Now, this is something to think about if you want to consider tourist attraction in any country. Now, moving straight to the impact of tourism in any country or the world, I would subdivide it into two. The positive attraction, the positive impact, and the negative impact. Now, in the positive impact, it is subdivided into two. The economical impact and the social-cultural impact. Now, the economical impact could mean improving on the tax, the income, and the revenue of people living in this area, or it could mean the increasing of the standard of living of these people, or the reduction of unemployment in a place like this. Now, we need to move to the second impact under the positive impact, the social-cultural impact. Now, the social-cultural impact means the interaction of people of diverse cultures, regions, traditions, religion, and so on, who come together to interact in order to form a integration for businesses or leisure or whatever it's made. Now, the other side of the impact is the negative impact. Now, this is the environmental impact. Now, the environmental impact of tourism is the degradation of the vegetation, the environment, the habitat, the water system, the airflow, and so on, even the wildlife. Now, wildlife is considered a tourist attraction because some areas wildlife are going into extinction because of hunting and killing of wild animals. Now, to end this, I need to say that tourism is the hinge of cultural heritage of the people. If tourism dies, the heritage of the people dies. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for that very, very deep knowledge he has been able to communicate from the impact section. And according to Wikipedia, Wikipedia said people travel for pleasure, for business, and for several other reasons. And around the world, at all development levels, millions of jobs and businesses depend solely on tourism, right? But yet, some challenges are not avoidable. And Ocom is going to be stressing us, taking us into that journey on the challenges around the tourism terrain.
Thank you very much, Controller. My name is Ubala Ocom. I'm a member of this team. And I'll be talking particularly on the subject of the challenge of tourism. Now, fine. With tourism as a component, let's first look at Cross River State as a case study. I am from Cross River State. Let me use Cross River State as a case study. Cross River State is a region in the southern Nigeria with a population of over 371,000 people living in that place. It is always known as the destination of tourism. Cross River State is a state with so much capacity and ability to flourish in the tourism sector. But have that industry been able to utilize well? No. And let me trace you well, take you through a guiding process as well. Now, I have with me some tourist destination centers in Cross River State, which I would like to share with you. We have the Obudu Mountain Resort, we have the Tinapa Resort, we have several others, but let me focus on that as a case study, and then also take you through a grain of the Calabar African largest street party, which is the Calabar Carnival. Now, let me take you to a grid from the Obudu Cattle Ranch. Obudu Cattle Ranch is located at Obudu in Cross River State. And this place is 5,000 feet above the sea level with 17 degrees Celsius. Meaning the temperature in that place is very cool and it gives you an East African vibes in West Africa. Now, how was this place discovered? It was discovered in 1815. Now, but it was revamped by the Tuna Duke administration in 1999 to 2007, which was the motive for revamping that place, to give it and make it like an African largest tourist center in West Africa and even the world. And as a result of that, so much was channeled into that sector, and which attracted foreign investors and boosted the state's GDP. Let me take you very well on that aspect. Now, the Obudu Cattle Ranch was able to fulfill its mission because the policy direction of the government to prioritizing tourism in Cross River State was high. But after that, the government left the office, the administration left the office, and the rest of the administration weren't able to continue that direction. So it is now in a dilapidated stage. Now, let me take you also to the Tinapa. The Tinapa is like a place where people go to have an aquatic experience. It has with it several other things, which I call components that make up the Tinapa sector very vibrant, as are the case of 2007 to 2009. But as it stands now, the Tinapa sector is not in a good shape because the policy direction of the government to prioritizing tourism at the grand scheme of things is not even there. So those are the areas which I point to you as tourist attraction centers in Cross River State. And I'll also take you to the African largest street party, which all of us here know as the Calabar Carnival. And that was a show that everybody was willing to see. It was more like a Christmas celebration because people come from diverse regions and cultural differences to celebrate and mark that remarkable day differently. People from Egypt, Brazil, and several other people come to this place. But has this been able to be continued? No. And I'm also saying this is a clarion call to the government to actually address that problems of failure in the tourism sector. Because I tell you, research has shown that the country productivity is directly proportional to the country's economy is directly proportional to the country productivity. So I am calling on the government of Cross River State to put in a policy towards that place and also see how they can revamp it back for it to function well, because it creates a lot of jobs and reduces so much. And let me talk about the challenges. The challenges of tourism, which we have all heard, but I want to guide you through that process too, is the challenge of funding. You see that when I talk about the policy direction of the government to prioritizing that sector, it is not just that the government are not seeming to have an interest in that sector, but the funding is always the problem because they prefer to channel the funding to other infrastructure, which is overheads and every other thing that they call it more important to them. But you see, the role of government to bring in tourism, the challenge that we are facing in tourism now is as a result of the fact that we don't have roads, we don't have transportations, we don't have good hostels there around the tourist centers, we don't have good social amenities there. So the government should also put this in as a measure, so at least they can say how they can address it very well. And then secondly, we all have the problem of remuneration, poor remuneration. The people working in this place are mostly not seen as people who are given the much salary they're supposed to be deserving. And so people will opt out for more better jobs to earn a greener pasture. And then the third one, which we have as a challenge, the challenge of publicity. The challenge of publicity is from statistics in 2009. It shows that Cross River State Carnival held, but a total population of 34% were aware through the televising sectors, but a higher percentage of 43% were not aware of these happenings. And that is to show that they heard it from other persons. So then lastly, we live in a tropical area, so tourists are always afraid of coming to our areas because they don't want to be affected by the disease like malaria and sleeplessness. So thank you very much. I would like to close this session by saying, again, the research has shown that the country's national productivity economy is directly proportional to the national productivity of that country. So let's please prioritize tourism on the grand scheme of things. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Okom, for that wonderful one. Tourism is a driving force towards the growth and the protection of natural and cultural heritage. Bam Bam will be taking us through the journey of a value-driven solutions that profile answers to on plenty questions we have raised here today. So, Bam Bam, we want to hear from you.
Thank you, Mr. Fred. Provisions of adequate infrastructure that support tourism, such as standard hotels, electricity, good roads network, seaports, were necessary and intentional boost of the medical sector to make it more reliable for citizens, foreigners alike. Number two is tackling security issues within the country and bringing terrorism to a zero level. This will give a facelift to the country as a whole, even to the heights of the international media. Necessary infrastructure such as good roads, electricity, portable water supply should be readily available. Work needs to be especially done in the rural area that host many tourism sites. And the fourth one is the government, especially the Ministry of Information, needs to work on this. Needs to work on this. Every country has its own share of problems, but the power of media can be used to give Nigeria a positive image abroad. The government can produce documentaries and publish relevant information that can encourage foreigners to come visiting. Our tourist center should be properly managed.
Thank you so much, Bam Bam, for that wonderful delivery. When it comes to the solutions of tourism, we believe that when the basic things are done, employment comes in, we have environmental protection, we can now have to bring in international investors. Taking you to the pandemic has shown the importance of tourism to us. Countries like Sri Lanka, Maldives, Indonesia were heavily affected by the pandemic because of the tourism importance in their country respectively. Matthew will be taking us through the journey and the growth hack on how tourism can generate revenue.
All right, thank you, my leader. Before I now drive you to how the tourists contribute to the growth of the nation here called Nigeria, I will drive you to know some tourist center here in Akwa Ibom. I'm an Akwa Ibomite. And I will first of all take you to the bridge of no return. Sorry, don't just panic, you will come back. All right, the bridge of no return. Once this is mentioned, I have to think about those pains, those hardship that we had when we didn't have independence. We talk about slavery, it was everywhere. And it was so painful that this is the bridge that if you get there, you'll be put in a ship. Once you are in that ship to the American country, it's just for you to go and farm, bro. You won't come back. I'm telling you the truth, you won't come back. These are the tourist centers that they are still there. Going there, just come in and visit it. You will see it is still there. It's just a very nice and unique place. I will still take you to the Raffia City. Oh my God. You need to be in Akwa Ibom, seriously. You need to be in Akwa Ibom. When we talk of locally made products, like bamboo that is used to make a chair like this that we are sitting, I believe you will really love it. There are so many things inside that Raffia City. There are some viewing centers in the Raffia City. There are places that you can do your shopping. where those locally made goods are being provided. And I'll also drive you. If I take you now to the Ibibio Museum, here I believe you will really know the history and what Ibibio as a people, how they were, how they started, where they imagined from, where they moved from, and where they gathered and formed the Ibibio nation. I'll also take you to our own lovely, I will call it, is the first and the beautiful hotel, one of the beautiful hotels here in Nigeria, the Meridian Hotel, where you have the golf resort. You know, most of our foreigners, they love to play golf. Coming here, you know very well, and if you go deep inside, they are sweet place to stay. They are beautiful place to stay, and the golf resort, you have about 18 potholes that you can come as a golfer to play, and you will really love it. Before now, I will still take you to Itulogo government. You know, when we were not like civilized, we were still being ruled by the colonial masters, there was a woman called Mary Slessor. This was a woman that came and changed our belief of killing twins in our Nigerian system. You know, they believe that for a woman to give birth to a twin, that is demonic. But this was the woman that came with the ideology that make us know that a twin is a gift from God. It is not a witch, or it is not manipulated by any force. But this woman, with one or two things that was done, I will not really drive you, but a take and a move to such place, I believe you will know more about it, which I don't want you, so that you will come and see this that is happening live. Alright, this woman was killed. There you will now see you will see where she was buried. You will study more. And now let me now take you to the main important thing, which I told you earlier on before I mentioned those tourist centers. How do tourism contribute in the growth of the nation? I will speak out to education system. Education system in the sense that any school that goes for excursion, I believe they want to go and know the history of a particular place. Being in such place, that is knowledge that we are learning. It can just be a free knowledge based on just the school just go for excursion, but you being there, you will learn a lot. Infrastructure is still part of it. A tourist center that has infrastructure, maybe within, I will set an example like maybe a big supermarket, good amenities that is around. It's not just having a tourist center, but it doesn't have anything that attracts people to that tourist center. Those things like infrastructure, it really makes people to go for that such a tourist center. I will also talk about how it boosts the revenue of the economy. Very, very important. Anything that is being done, and what doing for. You can't do something and don't have something in return. The revenue, development, and contribution of that tourist center is the most important and priority of that country. I also throw a little more light. It brings foreign investment. Foreigners and the citizens, they have the opportunity to meet in such tourist centers, and as numerous that I can't even mention because of time. So I believe my leader here, Fred, will still deal on a little because of time and tell us the little that is still remaining still on tourist centers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my Group B housemate. You've done a whole lot of job. I want to add to the Tropicana Beach and the Gurara Waterfalls in Niger State. The Tropicana Beach happens to be the first beach in Lagos that was named resort, right? And it started in 1984, and it has a very beautiful environmental, comfortable system that you will love to visit, you will love to sit, you will love to do your honeymoon, and I know you're going to love it. And when you check around the Gurara Waterfalls in Niger State, it's in the Gurara local government in Niger State, and it had a 30 meters height of the water that falls. So if you look around the details around it, you will discover that there's a very beautiful serene environment with cold water from the natural resources of God. My colleagues have done a whole lot of work, and once again I will want to say we're still on the President Reality TV show, and it's been an amazing time. I'm taking you through the journey of the World Tourism Day today, and we want to wrap it up by saying that tourism is life, traveling is an experience that is unbeatable, and is we can't defeat that. There are certain educations we get when we travel. So when you have opportunity to travel, ensure you maximize it. If you have not done that, have a plan to do that. Thank you so much, and thank you for having us. Thank you.
President's reality TV show.
All right. Another exciting moment where we are here gathered. This time with the housemates, Group A and B, and the freshest of it all, in a quest to discover and research and bring up the potentials we have in terms of tourism based on the day September 27th that's observed all over the world as World Tourism Day. We had the housemates express themselves as a group what tourism is all about, based on the theme as well, rethinking tourism. They did a lot of energy, a lot of research, a lot of references and everything. So as it stands now, we are back as a house, not just as a group anymore. But first of all, I want to appreciate all the groups. Please put your hands together. All right, now housemates, I believe you might have worked hard since morning just to put on that presentation. Now I saw a lot of expos from phones, from papers, a lot of anyway, let me just stop there before someone will pick offense on that. But as it stands now, we want to talk to you individually about tourism. Now, I've seen Fred. I've never seen Fred dressed like this before. I appreciate your tie. Bam Bam, you look good. Matthew, wow. Okon.
Yes, sir.
Ooh. Shop knuckle. Okay, the ladies. Come on, Edidion.
Yes, sir.
Look charming.
Thank you.
Ordinaka. Hey. One ne wine. Thump up. Faith. Like a choir master anyway, but the picture was just cool. All right, let's quickly take a look at a roundup of what you guys did, and let's see how we can just spotlight some things. Now, the essence of the President reality TV show is not just the presentation, but to harness on what we have as a people. There are so many points you raised, and there are some things I never knew of. Their Boking waterfalls. I never knew of the potentials we have in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, like Daniel said, and the artificial lake by Jefferson Jabi Lake, and Damari said something about the Zuma Rock, and Dodinaka took us to the cave, wooden cave in Abia State, and all those things. Wow, quite a very, very interesting experience. Let's just quickly look at this now. Now, on your own perspective, not as a group now, with the level of commitment, or the commitment, or whatever the attention the government has put in, as a president of Nigeria, in one word, how will you rate tourism in Nigeria based on the theme rethink tourism? Are we on the right track, or are there those things you feel should be done just to bring up tourism more? Like Fred, what's the thing you can tell us that?
Okay, thank you so much for
1 minute.
For the opportunity. I'll try as much as possible to close the gap. I believe that currently we have Ministry of Tourism combined with Ministry of
Information, Culture and Tourism.
Yes. So, and over the years, attention has been focused on information,
leaving this to the side,
leaving
right?
tourism aside. So I believe that if the government can do well to create a department for tourism alone, it's a very big department.
Now, being a president, what will you about that?
If I become a president, and I believe in delegation, segregations, and departmentalizations, because you cannot do everything yourself. And when we have a department solely focused on tourism, we will get results. If countries like Maldives can do 38.96% as a contribution to their GDP per year, and Nigeria is struggling within 3% as of 2019 now, and according to WTTC, the World Travel and Tourism Council, for this year editions of the Economic Forum, they stated that within now and the next 10 years, if tourism stand alone, we can create 2.6 million jobs So look at these figures, look at the importance, look at what it brings to the economy. With that figure alone,
You've extended 4 minutes. Put your hands together for him, please. All right, bam, bam. Let's quickly look at your own perspective about tourism and how, given the opportunity, for instance, now to make plans and deals on this, what will you do?
Thank you. Mostly, I will focus on the security challenge.
Security challenge in terms of tourism, okay? Now, can I just throw a little light on that?
Mostly, we can say that the country is facing security challenges in recent times, and this has contributed dramatically. It has reduced the tourism dramatically, and in time of growth, in terms of provisions for employment, so it has reduced it dramatically.
All right, all the same. Thank you very much for the answer. For bam, bam. Daniel,
Yes, sir.
given the opportunity to work and create more impact in terms of tourism, what will you do as a president of Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. I would say that as an educationist, I'd look at history and tourism. Now, with reference to the Oposi Salt Lake, which I talked about, which was majorly processed and produced by women in terms of the salt, you realize that women were doing this without the help of men. Maybe there were some men, but women were at the forefront. Now, in terms of education, I'll ensure that more girls are told about these women, the women who started this production, in order to educate them.
Why will you attribute this to women? Is it because salt is being used in the kitchen more than everywhere, or like?
To show that women actually do have value, and they are not only for the kitchen, they can do the work.
So now on the Salt Lake, is it attributed to the women as well, as like the men should be left out, or because you're not talking about encouraging more girls to go into the Salt Lake discovery and exploitation?
I think when we talk about vulnerability, we talk about women and children. So it's important that I pinpoint this area, which most people are neglecting, that women are as strong as men and they can do
So
more.
you're an advocate that women should be more involved in. All right, so Daniel, you were advocating that ladies should go back and make exploration based on the Salt Lake to boost tourism for economic development.
Yes, looking at the educational aspect of it. Now, I remember reading the story of Malala Yousafzai, the UN advocate for girl child education.
Girl child education, okay.
Yes, and I realized that amidst everything that happened between the Taliban and the girls in Pakistan.
All right, thank you very much. Let's stop there now. Editor, you made mention of so much about Akwa Ibom in terms of tourism. Now, can you boast of any of those things as it stands now?
Yes.
And how can that give the opportunity? We talked about the Igbo tourist beach. Going to that place now is like an eyesore. We have kiosks everywhere. Talk about the Blue and Yellow River. Talk about the library and so on and so forth. Now, how can we boast of such?
Oh, beautiful. I'll start by saying that those are tourist sites. It is there, it is there. Now, if I want to, as a person, let me take it to a perspective of improving on it or boosting of it. I will privatize it. That's just my concept.
Privatization.
Yes, because I want individuals to come in, manage this, and make returns for me. Maybe as a president, make returns to the government.
For you or as a government?
As the president. Okay, I will allow private individuals to come in, manage it, because I feel private individual will have more concepts, they will introduce more ideas, because if you want to come from the government, it will take procedures before you can pass through, but to private individuals, it will be just very easy and a bit more accessible for them to do it. They make returns for the government, and it's for our economic benefit, to just boost our economy.
All right, thank you very much. You talk about privatization, privatizing the tourist sector. You've read from Edidio. Now let's move over to Faith. Faith, the man with the tie, talking about tourism tonight. Let's hear from you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. There are three key things I would love doing. Number one, just like you mentioned already, separating the Ministry of Information and Culture
and Tourism.
Yes, making it.
So three different ministries: Information, Culture, and Tourism. or separating information from culture and tourism?
Just separating information from culture and tourism.
Okay.
Then the second one will be ensuring that government funds the tourist centers, build more good roads and infrastructures around it, but allow private sector to manage it. Then the third one would be having a website. Like Nigeria, we have so many tourist centers. Having a website where globally people can view our tourist centers from the website. And by their coming to the website, they are generating traffic. And by generating traffic, they are bringing revenue to government. And from these revenues, we can keep investing more.
You said something about privatization now. I want to join your words with that of a detail. Now, don't you think private sector will always want to have their own way in terms of billing, having their own way in terms of their doings? They might decide to go on recess, shut down for some time, and it might not just go well to the populace or with the populace.
Okay, I could pick an example from Ibom Tropicana Mall. When we had just the Tropicana Mall, when we had just Ibom Tropicana, we didn't have so much of activities going on there. But now that it has been handed over to private sector to manage, there are lots of activities going on there now. People have different shares currently, and if you go there now, it's
privatizing tourism.
Yes.
How about that?
Privatizing tourism.
Where what I call it, the owner of the drum will detect the tune of the drum.
I feel
the winner takes it all.
No, I feel the structuring whereby the government has income from it and the private sector.
For example, the power sector. Anyway, let's just leave that. We're going to talk about that during this particular issue as well as we progress. We're going to talk about privatization and Nigeria and governmental sector. I'll put it all together for you. That's a nice one. All right, Odinaka, let's get to you. You mentioned the cave, the wooden cave, and that can seat at least 20 people.
Yeah.
Now 20 is not enough for a day. Is it in a minute, hour, or seconds?
It's called the wonder tree.
The wonder tree.
Yeah,
now,
a very big tree in which there is
in a day, they have 24 hours. Let's assume you have 12 hours for commercialization, and you have people in numbers troop in to witness this particular cave that seats only 20 people. How do you make money from such? Let's talk about the commercial aspect of the wooden cave. Should we, when people come around, they say, sorry, the cave is already booked. You have to go and come back tomorrow.
That is why when I mentioned about the economic benefits of tourism, I say that tourism includes all aspects of the sector. So like that cave there, you would see that if it is being promoted, we would see investors coming in. They will build hospitality industries there. They will build things that could serve as things that could help people whenever they come there. Like they could build maybe a tent and other things there just to make money, because tourism has direct and indirect benefits. It also helps small and medium scale enterprises. People would come and invest there. That is it. And that's why when I become the president of Nigeria, I'll be modeling the model of tourism, Mama Tourism, who was the Director General of the National Tourism Development Commission.
For the fair lady that was there before.
Yes, and that was between 2000 to 2005.
That's right.
We could see the way tourism thrived. That is why when you made mentioning festivals, it was during her reign that we saw this festival, and we could see the economic impact. Apart from the economic impact, we could see that it also had a value chain in which other sectors was also growing. And then we would make it inclusive because we would have the President Tourism Council, in which the governors would be there, and we would also have the ministers.
All right, thank you very much. Put your hands together for her. That's a nice one. Okay, Kala, you weren't part of any group, but from conversations, you might have heard these. Now, how do you see tourism, and what do you think about tourism in Nigeria?
Thank you for that, for giving me the opportunity to speak. I would say it's at 40%, we could actually really do more than what we have. And if I were president, there are three things I would focus on. First one is security, the third one is privatization, and then the second is privatization, and then the third one is media. Media, because I have an experience where I had a blockchain event in Enugu, and some of the industrialists we invited who were outside the country, they didn't want to come to Enugu because they had Googled Enugu, and what they had just saw, what they saw was the kidnapping, this fight. There was a time there was a fight that was really going on. That was what they saw, and I think that event was about 5 years ago, and so they just said, we're not coming. That shows that even if we take care of security, privatization, we have to own our own narrative. So that also, the Ministry of Information has a big role to play, so that we can tell our stories the way it is, with us, the way it is in real time. So a lot of the housemen have talked about security. It's a very good aspect, privatization, and we talked about how the cave had only 20 persons. Basically, a business person would cut it down to 30 minutes per person, and do it in such a way that you would enjoy those 30 minutes.
Because you're from, are you related to Igbo in terms of?
No, I'm a business person.
Yeah, business person.
So reduce it to that amount, and
Okay.
it goes also to what she says about how it's inclusive. If you give business people, they can come with the ideas and cut through those bureaucracies, and then also we can make the business people own a part of the.
Okay, now let's take a look at this now. Is it any possibility that we can bring artificial tourism to boost that particular sector away from the natural things we have?
Yes, there are, but security has to be solved because...
Security first.
Yes.
Okay, that's from color. Put your hands together for Damaris, the Zuma Rock, that's about 900 and something feet. Is that not intimidating? Did you get closer to the Zuma Rock?
No.
Because 900 and something feet, it's almost falling off. So how did you feel approaching the rock?
It was scary.
It was scary.
Yes.
Now, did you also worship the image you saw?
No.
Just like the baggies?
I don't.
Okay.
Actually, according to history, the cave,
the rock.
The rock, yes, is a haunted area. No one has ever lived around there. But currently there is a building there that is supposed to be the Sheraton Hotel that is currently in Abuja.
Okay, in Abuja now. Okay.
Yes, but because of the way it was, like according to history, the people that were building it were always hearing voices.
Okay, from the rock.
Yes, from the rock. So they started to run for their lives.
That's
Anytime
scary.
you go now, you
That's
see
scary.
it. Yes.
How can the rock begin to talk?
And
just like
another thing about it is that according to history, the first people that were able to climb to the peak of it are the only sets of people that went and came back.
And came back. Since then, nobody climbed the hill, the rock, and survived.
Yes, and it's also still on.
Okay, now let's take a look at this now. What do you think about commercializing the tourist aspect of that particular place? However, that gets to that rock, apart from maybe the scary aspect of it, how can they make money? Because we are talking about now the impact of tourism, based on a United Nations observation that rethink tourism. Now in Nigeria, we like business. Just like Carla said, she's a business conscious person.
Yes.
She's looking at how she can make artificial cave, wooden cave, that will carry up to 100 people. That you sit per hour or per minute. You are charged per minute. So how can we make money from such?
This may sound funny, but actually, I will only say, let our pastor just build a church around it.
To build a church around it?
Yes, where they'll be conducting a
deliverance.
Yes.
Just lay your hands on the rock and healing will come.
Or maybe let them just be praying, because there's nothing to do about it.
It's alright. All the same, Damaris, thanks very much. Now,
Thank you, sir.
Jefferson, you said something about the artificial, like now, the essence of this gathering is to see how we can, apart from maybe the prize money or whatever, to, unleash ideas and see how we can share. Like Kala just said something about business. I'm a business-oriented person. To every Nigerian now, we're looking at how to open kiosk, make money on a daily. Okay? And now let's look at this now. Is there any possibility of having replica of the Jabi Lake in any part? You can't just like walk into a place and begin to develop an artificial tourist site.
Okay, first, you see, I want to, Nigerians, first and foremost, will check the system of government. And because privatizing the tourism is going to be an issue with the way we think, we must give ourselves orientation to be patriotic first and foremost because of selfish interest. Now, if you're going to privatize the tourism, definitely you are going to give somebody a chance to loot the people. So we should have policies that would guide those private organizations that would give returns that will be checked by the government, not allowing them to just do their things. Because, for example, check the oil and gas. We know Dangote, he does that. And then we have a lot, Lamido Sanusi was talking and saying there is selfish interest in it because we have 32 mineral resources that we transport and we pay with our money to be refined, and then only one comes back to us. The same thing will happen when we give private organizations
opportunity to
do
tourism.
tourism. Yeah. So what we should do is, yes, we will privatize it, but there should be a policy that will guide the sector.
All right. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for him, please. That's a nice one. Okon.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Obudu Ranch Resort is deteriorating as a result of negligence by the government. Give it the opportunity to revive and make Calabar a destination, the people's paradise as it was. What will you do?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. First of all, I'm a believer of technocratic prudence. I believe in the power of technocrats. I'm more like a technocrat who understand the political space. So first of all, what I would do is this. I will first of all appoint the competent hands. I will have a policy direction first. This is what I want to do. And then secondly, appoint the competent hands to be able to do it because I cannot be everywhere. So someone has to do the job while I play a superintendent role over it. So I will appoint the competent hands to be able to help me manage that sector and revamp it back. The main reason why the Donald Duke administration was so successful in managing that sector was because they had a policy direction towards there. And they know very well that prioritizing tourism in Cross River State will help boost the state's GDP. And it works so well for them.
Don't you think that this comes only on December when we have the Calabar Christmas Carnival?
No, it doesn't. No. Statistics shows very well. Let me say reports shows very well. I don't want to quote statistics out of context. Report shows very well that during his administrations, if you go to that place and ask questions around, now, they will tell you that 5,000 people go there every week. Not now. Not during that period. 5,000 people go there every week. And so the place was functioning very well. It was in a good shape. It was giving them money, it was giving them revenues. But right now, what is happening in Cross River State right now is that the Commissioner of Tourism goes there and take everything that's still left there, take it and go away. Yes, like I said, it's a clarion call to
that's an allegation anyway.
It's not an allegation, at least we have, okay.
Camera, please, hope you're not taking this one.
Because it is on the radio section. Off the mic.
All right, let's take a look at this now. Is there any possibility of separating politics from tourism? This one goes to everybody. Politics and tourism. Because it's assumed the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism is being appointed by the governor. Now, don't you think there is a political undertone based on whatever the commissioner will be doing? Because the commissioner one in Nigeria currently is also looking for a way on how to survive. And that's his own ministry. He should do everything possible to ensure there is food on his table and his bank account shows green at all time. Now, separating politics from tourism, is there any possibility? Okay, wait. Odinaka?
Definitely, there will be no way you separate politics from tourism. The only problem there is the political will and who you appoint. If we go to Dubai, it is the rulers of Dubai who make Dubai. And one thing that the ruler of Dubai would say is that he had that leadership is a problem. And if you don't have the right leaders in place, or if you have selfish leaders in place, you can't accomplish anything. Just like what's happening in Nigeria now. And that is why I like referring to between the period of 2000 to 2005, because that lady there was appointed, but because she knew that she was to deliver, and because she knows the potential.
All right, let's take a look. We're still going to go back to that. Matthew, but let's take a look at things. Is there any possibility of separating politics from tourism or culture?
All right, thank you. When we talk of politics, there are elected positions about politics, and as such, you come down to the state, commissioners are being appointed, they are not elected. Trying to figure out the two, politics and tourism, they go hand in hand. From the federal creed, you see, ministers are also appointed. From the state, commissioners are also appointed. So, politics there does not really matter, or maybe let me say, it's not a problem that tourism is not functioning in the country. It's the people. The people, when I say the people, I talk about the minister, talk about the commissioner. They are the people that should revamp or see that tourism has a vital role to play in economic growth. But I don't think the two of them have any issue.
Well, making yourself like this a commissioner for culture and tourism, and you're working under a governor, and the governor is asking you to make returns every month based on a particular, let's assume the beach now is handed over to you and to your ministry.
All right, let me...
Now, what will you do at that point?
At that point...
Don't you think you use every avenue to generate money from the beach to the governor so that you remain the commissioner for culture and tourism?
With that, you see it as a personal interest, which is supposed not to be so. It's supposed to be what carries the general people along. It's supposed to be something that benefits every other indigene, especially maybe in that area or a state in particular.
Okay, now you're agitating that commissioner for culture and tourism, or this in this context, should be voted or elected, not appointed.
They should be voted, because with that, let me get the point there. They should be voted, because let me just believe we here, we are aspiring for president. Fred here will be an aspirant. Dan here will be an aspirant. Everybody will be an aspirant. Probably from different parties.
Okay.
We have our own interest.
Okay.
Like to deliver the dividends of that particular democracy in terms of that tourism.
The office. Okay.
Yes. You need to impress the people and make the people know that this is what you came and you delivered to them. Appointment, like you said, those special and, let me say, selfish interest of it is there. So that makes it not working the way it should work.
All right, it's okay. Thank you very much. What do you else get for him? That's it. All right, Daniel, it's like you want to conclude on that.
Yeah, just to...
You're the last speaker for tonight.
Yeah, just to add to what she said and what he said. I don't think that it is necessary to separate politics and tourism, or for the role of tourism to be changed from being a position of appointment to a position of election, in the sense that I feel like it is our own job as people, as electorates, as the hoi polloi, as common people, to be at the forefront of making a change, in the sense that during elections we should all come out to vote the right leader. Because if we say it's the job of the right leader, that means people who are still doing corruption, people who are still doing the wrong things to get the wrong leader into office will still be doing it, while we will be pointing at the problem.
Now, has leadership got anything to do with culture or tourism?
Yes, it has.
How? In tourism, leadership?
Yes,
does.
yes,
like
it does.
Dubai.
I want to say
A
something.
good
Dubai.
leader, a good leader has a blueprint. A good leader has
Don't
a
you think?
blueprint
Don't you
of how
think
the
that
system will be.
Nigerians are the reason why tourism is not really working? Now let's look at
Part
this.
of it, sir.
Calm
Yeah, they are part of
down.
it.
Calm down. Let's take a look at this now. The Yankari Game Resort with the Bayelsa State experience, where we discovered shark of recent, which was supposed to be a very wonderful opportunity for the people of Bayelsa to behold a shark. But what happened? Now, now talk about what happens to our bushmeat?
I believe
Hold on,
I
friend.
believe with this point, every one of us has something to say.
Let's Kala talk.
Let's just
We need to seek
Okay, Kala say
discussion.
something. Kala talk.
Okay, let me give you. While she was talking, I was so impressed because I did not even know that Akwa Ibom had half of the resort of the tourist centers that she mentioned.
Okay.
And that boils down to some education. What's our national ideology? What do we think about our cities, about the things that are natural from us, our history? How many of us actually know Nigeria's history and can appreciate it? And if someone talked about when he went to museums and said, "Oh, don't take pictures," and he saw the sculptures and he had more appreciation because now there's this knowledge about, oh, this is your history. And a lot of times, our history are not taught in our schools. It was removed off our curriculum. Why was that? So if we have more education, if we understand, if we have a better national ideology, that's even one, we can go ahead to appreciate tourism, other things. And I don't think it's the people, also the leaders, because a lot of our leaders are in strategic positions. And one of the areas of strategic management is giving policies, proper policies that can put everything in context. So even if you have the wrong people in office, the policies will constrain them.
Okay, are you also aware that wildlife is also another area of tourism?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now talk about pythons, talk about the grass cutters, the bush meat, what we consume here. Is there anything that we are not eating in Nigeria currently? Talk about the wildlife. Now, because now, if somebody in Bauchi now will see
bush elephants.
Bush elephants walking. The next thing is like to call people to see how they can capture it and slaughter.
Let me paint a picture.
Don't you think that would have been another wonderful? If we start eating python, we start eating cat, crocodile. So where are we?
Let me paint the picture.
Okay.
Let me paint the picture.
Okay, please. You gotta let's match it up.
Sure. Let's do this way. All right. You now mention of we have hunters. You understand?
Okay.
Your own state, I believe they are hunters, as well as my own state. They are hunters, but how will these hunters survive? Yes, that's the number one question.
If they don't bring this.
Hold on. I'm coming. Okay. How will they survive? That's one.
Okay.
But you mentioned about leadership. A leadership in the sense that there should be a museum. And we have it.
Like a zoo?
Yes, like a zoo.
Like you don't have zoo in Nigeria anymore.
That's what I'm saying. That's a very big point that a leader in that aspect of tourism should focus on. If in each state there is a museum or a zoo, like you said, which we know very well, in our state we have all those wild animals. Some, in some part.
Do we laugh?
You pick them, you pick them, yes, you pick them, you take it there. Those ones are just there. Nobody, no hunter is going there to hunt that one. If probably we used to
Okay, now a hunter going hunting.
Yeah.
And he feels so disappointed that today he no come out. Don't you think anything the hunter sees just for market to move?
I don't think
they want to bring.
Yeah, I don't think there will be that provision of them to pick every of those.
Now you talk about reserve now. Let's take a look at the simplest of it is this owl.
Is what?
The owl.
Okay.
Of the thing now, it's assumed anything owl you see.
It's witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
It's orientation. That's what my village people told me.
You see? Okay, that's what So anybody that will see oh like this, like the next thing now is to call pastors and begin to like pour olive oil and begin to set the whole place.
And
But
I believe there are some part that it is.
Now, who will have that zeal to carry and say, please let me take it. Government wanted, let me take it and sell to government. Let them use that.
So,
That's
when to make this people know about this.
That's what makes it that such thing exists.
Most of the things I wanted to point out, I either somehow forget them because of the but my policy has always been that as a business person, right? Every government that is run the way we run business will survive.
Exactly.
Every government that is run the way we run business will survive. Either you're a politician, you're not a politician. If you can run startups in our country from scratch, you bootstrap and your startups earn certain grants, right? You will run a successful business because we run a country and we run a system where people who have zero knowledge base in business, people who have zero knowledge base in career success, comes in as hoodlums and occupy certain positions. Either by dragging or anyhow they get into the positions. If we find a way to stop these things, we mitigate failures. One, we go ahead. My policies for business are simple. Policy, people, and politics. You have your policy, you bring people to work for you, or you bring people to collaborate with you, or you bring people to partner with you to run your business. The politics around of who becomes the manager, we cannot bring down the business if there is policy. We have zero policy for literally everything we do in this country.
That's just the point, right?
A shark was killed. There is no policy around that river.
The shark
there
was
is no
not. The shark was not killed.
Right.
A shark was washed. The
okay,
shore.
was washed. Okay. There is no
Washed the
policy
shore.
around the river that has database of people who comes to the river. There is nothing literally that you can't keep record.
So are you trying to tell us that we should go to the city like Nembe, a particular village, to put a policy that anytime you see shark, when they don't even know what shark is,
let me give an illustration.
Hungry fishermen.
Let me give an illustration. Let me give an illustration.
Hungry fishermen.
Let me give an illustration. In Australia is a country filled with wild animals.
Okay.
And they are successfully doing well.
Basically the sea from the ocean.
Yes. Because why? They have policies. You can't for any reason kill any animal in Australia and survive the next 24 hours.
And it stems from one, first and foremost,
if they come into your house,
ministers and commissioners that we appoint.
Thank you.
How can you
but
appoint
for institutions where we don't have any? And I also want to point out something in terms of privatization. I have a problem with sustainability.
Okay.
When you talk about business, two things come to play, except you are a short-sighted person. Sustainability, structure, and growth. Privatization has no sustainability, except I'm proven wrong. The company will privatize in this country end after that government.
Yeah.
No, the problem
Did
is
you
not
get?
privatization.
End after that government. So if we want to imbibe privatization, what is the plan for
Is the
sustainability?
tourism we are talking
sir.
about? Don't
Sir,
be
no,
personal.
I think I agree with.
All right. Jefferson said something.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, I want to say, you see, in all these things,
I don't agree with it.
in all these things, commissioners that we appoint, how can you appoint someone who doesn't know about zoology?
As a commissioner.
As a commissioner.
about
So what? He doesn't know anything about zoology.
Okay.
He doesn't know anything about botany. He doesn't know anything about biology. And then you're appointing him. Definitely you are going to fail. Because what he's going to do, let's assume we're appointing Fred as a Minister of Tourism.
Who is a business person?
Yes.
Who doesn't know anything about tourism?
Who doesn't know anything about tourism? What he's going to do is definitely there will be selfish interest. What he's going to do is he's
like
going to
a
sell
commercial?
some of the things, commercialize
To sell
It's not the ministry.
But that's the system that we operate in.
No, but it needs to change.
Yes, that's the
It needs to
part.
You are
change.
tarnishing my
That's one over 10.
He said it's 1 over 10.
One over
So, sir,
10.
let me say something. sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I think I'm not disagreeing with your system, but I want to argue it.
Okay.
Talking about privatization not having sustainability is because of the fact that
Continuity.
yes, continuity. That's what I want to say. Continuity. Government is all about continuity. When you are leaving, you bring up somebody to continue from your project. I understand very well that there's no continuity when it comes to capital projects, but this is not like a capital project. And again, it has to do with the quality of leaders we elect into public offices. Most of the leaders we elect into our civils, our public offices are people we ourselves won't even hire.
Since you said
And then most
arguments,
especially,
since you said
our
arguments,
constitution,
right?
our policies
Well,
need to be
well,
adjusted.
Okay, one house.
I believe that.
One house. This is not that avenue for this discussion. But all the same, how come you said continuity? Kala, you said continuity.
Yes, I do.
Do you think it's seen as imposition
Okay.
when it comes to now by tenure has elapsed?
We don't
And I'm about to bring
hold on.
politically,
there's a
don't you
way
think it's
for-
imposition
No.
for me to bring a successor?
No,
To continue from where I stopped?
I'll come in there. What I think is, I'll come in there.
What I think
I'll come in
just like Fred said, policy is as important as the government. So if we have a policy that states that anybody who comes into office would continue from where the last person stopped, will have a system
China have done that
there's
and it
consistency
works.
and continuity.
Is that what you guys want to do when you become the president of this country?
Yes.
So seriously, policy.
Different sectors.
Those kind of policies can only they can only stay if we operate first of all a true federal system.
Exactly.
And then two, if our nation there's an ideology. So we know that once we grow from this point to this
It's all right. All the same. Thank you very
So we are
much.
not done.
Housemates,
Yes, sir.
housemates.
Yes, sir.
It was a very nice one having this wonderful time with you.
Thank you, sir.
It just shows us how important that you are and how passionate you are about the quest to make that change in the country Nigeria in terms of leadership. Don't forget, this is not just all about the president, it's all about you in terms of leadership. And we believe this is not just the stopping point, this is the beginning, because after here, we would love to see you explore most of these ideas. And I want to implore you to keep this flag flying. Once in a while, we always seek to argue this, either on camera or off the camera. I want to appreciate each and every one of you for coming out. You've really argued. Your points are very, very salient. And we hope we're going to have much more the remaining how many days do we still have to stay. But my prayer is that everybody should remain till the 30th day. But it's not just gonna come out. All the same, this way we call it a wrap for tonight about tourism. Our esteemed viewers, you've heard from the housemates. We had the groups A and the B had their own turn for the discussion tonight. It's all about tourism anthem Tuesday, September 27, as declared by United Nations Tourism Organization as World Tourism Day. You've had everybody express themselves on this. There is a need for change. There is a need for direction when it comes to our tourism, culture, and communication. They said they should separate, according to them, information from culture and tourism, and also there is a need to bring in a professional, a zoologist to be in charge of anything that has to do with zoo, a botanist in terms of botany, and also someone who has a lot to do with animal farming, into animal, whatever. Let's just see how we can work that out. They have their plans, but let's see if this will work out for each and every one of them. Thanks very much for joining us for tonight. The housemates, thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Retire to sleep. Tomorrow is another day. Have a wonderful night.
Yes,
Bye.
thank you, sir.